Friday night in North Carolina. And tonight I'm talking about South Carolina. So most everybody knows at this point, Murdaugh is on trial for the murder of his wife and son, which I think for a lot of people is sort of difficult to wrap your mind around, which it shouldn't be. You know, we see domestic violence and we see all sorts of things, but being from North Carolina, upper middle class family, I'm married to an attorney. Alec Murdaugh's attorney. These people went to school where, I had a lot of family go to South Carolina to school. It feels very intertwined with my life, particularly because it's just similar. And that really freaks you out because you're like, how could that be the same? Like, these could be people that I knew, you know? And not that it doesn't matter, but when somebody says, why are you so interested in it? I think that's why. It feels very familiar to me. And so this trial has been going on, and today the prosecution rested. So I don't know how many of y'all have been watching this, but I have logged a great number of hours with this trial. It started when I had my cruise. Well, so one day I've done a full day of watching this week, and then I've done a lot of like after hours watching. In fact, my husband, my criminal defense attorney husband, was like, I said, my subscribers want you to come on and talk about what's happening. He was like, I actually am a lawyer in real life and have been practicing law while you're watching the trial. But yes, I've caught him up to speed. He has opinions. A narcissist of great privilege, where I hope I don't connect with that. So I was reading this article, and this guy, NBC, Eric Ortiz, said the prosecution offered no hard proof. There was no confession, there was no eyewitness, there was no video or fingerprints, and no hard proof that Murdaugh pulled the trigger. So we've had the prosecution finish up today, and next week is the defense starts up on Tuesday. So has the prosecution pulled their case? Is it beyond a reasonable doubt? My theory, and we're going to hear from Thomas after this video, my theory is that they want to push you as far as you can go to believe he did it now. And then the defense is just going to whack at your legs like you're standing on a ladder and they're taking down the bars on it to make you not believe. Here's my opinion. I'm not like a news person, so I can just be honest with what I think, because I think this is more of a conversation that I want to have with people because I'm interested to see what other people think. I can't tell you for sure if he pulled the trigger for the murder of both of them. And I'm not on the jury, so this is something I'm going to ask Thomas. So I don't know. Can you say he's guilty? Do I think that he was involved? Abso-frickin-lutely, beyond a reasonable doubt. But I don't know what they have to prove. We're going to ask Thomas that after this. But this is the Adrian video. The next video is the attorney video. So there are all sorts of, we're going to really do a deep dive. So get your wine or your water, like me, and your cough drops. I don't know where you find the energy. Well, today I took my daughter to get orthotics made, and then we went to TJ Maxx, and she just wanted, I said, we need to do a subscriber video. She was like, Mom, let's just hang out. So we did. And we went to Chick-fil-A, and she bought herself some makeup. I got her some sports bras and socks. Got Amos some shorts, just a normal day. I came home, had random dinner, tried to tell myself I didn't need a cheeseburger and had yogurt instead. Y'all think I'm getting thin because of that medicine I take, but I also have to make good choices. I know. The only thing the prosecution proved is that Alex is a liar. I think he pulled the trigger. So the best part about this is that we can all have an opinion. And that's the beauty in a jury. Like, I'm so thrilled for people to think differently than me, because what if we didn't? Like, what if I want to be a bunch of Stepford wives? Leanne, I've missed you. Leanne got suspended from Facebook. Nobody rat her out for doing something. I think so too, Carol. Okay, so here's one thing that I have been mulling over in my mind for like the last hour. Alec deleted 73 phone calls from his phone log that day on his phone. Why did he do that? So I was asking the real attorney, my husband, because he's a criminal defense attorney, so he usually argues with everything I say. And I said, he was like, you can't prove, me. I said, well, do you delete calls off your phone log every day? Like people that you call? Let's say you were having an affair. You might delete the people that you called, that called you. But would you delete your own, like my calls? No. So why did he? Well, we don't know about Eddie. We didn't get to see him. So he called Maggie at 9:04, 9:06, 9:06, 9:45, and 10:03 p.m. And he deleted them off his phone. Why did he do that? At 10:25 p.m., he called her again, and that one shows up. The only activity recorded at the time was an unanswered call to Maggie made from Murdaugh's phone at 10:25 p.m. No, at this point, he had already called the police. Now, we're going to get back to this, but this is really important. I will say that Harpootlian, if he's watching this tonight, I wish he were watching it. I doubt he is. If you are watching this video, Harpootlian, people hate the way you're doing this. They don't hate you because they don't know you enough to hate you. But you are an ASS hat. And it shows you're pompous and you're arrogant and you're trying to be some sort of like Daddy Warbucks, Southern aristocrat drinking a gin and tonic. And it is annoying. So I just want to let you know that. You are annoying. And people might go above and beyond, just to get you back. So I would stop doing that attitude that you have. And I'm saying that in all seriousness. Stop it right now. No one likes an arrogant defense attorney. Defense attorneys that are successful are kind and docile and make juries like them. They no like you. Me no like you. And I'm Southern. The way you talk to people is bad. Bad. And I have some quotes. Now, at 4 o'clock that afternoon, this is the day we're talking about, the very day that Maggie and Pilar killed, she texted her housekeeper, I'm waiting at the doctor. Alex wants me to come home. I have to leave the door open at Edisto. His dad is back in the hospital. No cancer. It's pneumonia. Marion, Maggie's sister, testifies that Maggie told her, I'm going to Moselle to see Alex's dying dad. He wants me to come. Okay? Well, we hear from Alec in an interview from August where he's like, I didn't even know she was coming. She just showed up and it was so wonderful. She's such a wonderful person to me. And I mean, she just came because that's the kind of person she was. I didn't know she was coming. She would stay at the beach in the summer. Well, we've just heard from the sister the day before. Now, mind you, this is a recording we're hearing of him. And the sister's like, she thought it was strange, Marion Proctor, that Alec wanted her to come home. And I encouraged her to. And that was the last time we spoke. Poor sister. Poor sister. I know I'm doing some skipping, but there's a lot of skipping going on in my brain. He is a snake. Snaky, snake. Now, Alec told us he got home from work late. He got home from work early. He did not. He returned home from the law office at 6:42, but he had told in the initial interview that he had gotten home at 5:30. And they said, what did you do? What did you do? So he, and I remember hearing the story. He and his son, Paul, he said, I've written it down. Where is it? Ooh, it's a lot of notes. Y'all might not make it this long. Oh, schmuck. It's a lot of notes. He said, we talked. We just talked about talked about everything. We rode around in the truck. We talked about the farm. We talked about the stress. We were worried about him. And he starts crying as he's telling this story about how he had this last wonderful moment with his freaking son. And he's lying. They rode around for 20 minutes. They rode around. He got home. Paul was still driving to Moselle at 6:53. So he calls his dad at 6:40. Alec arrives at Moselle at 6:42. They go and ride around for 25 minutes before they eat dinner. This is no 2 hour. It's spelled Alex, but it's pronounced Alec. Alec. It's like a southern bizarre thing. They love to say something different. He lied. And people might say, my husband included, well, just because you lied doesn't mean you're a something. Well, it's too bad. Adrian's law. Yeah, they looked at sunflowers. And this is things that husbands and sons will do, because I'm married to this person and these children that love to pretend to hunt and ride around and do stuff. But no. Okay, so now listen to this. So he gets home at 6:42 p.m. And, here's where he said it, right here. We just rode and talked about everything, talked about his stress, talked about the farm. We just rode and talked. At 6:43, he calls his wife. The call is 104 seconds. There's no call log, so he deletes this call. 6:53, he calls his brother. He texts Maggie at 7. Paul says, you're getting a petty. Call when you get done. At 7:39, Paul does this video, a Snapchat video, and sends it out. And on this video, we hear Alec talking. Now, when Alec was interviewed on August 11th of 2021, and they said, do you think Paul walked down to the kennels? He said, it would be highly unusual for him to walk. If you showed me proof that Paul was down there that night, I'd be very surprised. If you showed me proof that Paul was down there that night, I'd be very surprised. And what I think is that Alec had his head turned, because in his mind, he's planning what's going to happen in a short amount of time, 10 minutes. Maybe he's waiting for somebody to come help him. Maybe he's waiting for the people that are going to do it. Maybe he's planning together. I don't know. He is down there at the kennel, and his voice, you can hear his voice. He tells the investigators, when they said, "Did you go to the kennel before dinner?" I did not. I did not go. No, sir. No, sir. Paul and I were down there kicking the tires, hanging out earlier before dinner. We had dinner together. Bianca made our dinner. And then I laid down and took a nap. And I woke up and went to my dad's. No, sir, I did not go down to the kennels. So let's have a pause for a minute. And I'm being totally serious. Your wife, your son, your husband, your child, someone you love, like more than life itself, like the kind of person that you think, because you know God loves everybody more than we love them, and you think, God, how do you love Amos more than I love Amos? That's really hard to wrap our heads around. But that's how we feel about our children, our parents, our siblings. And you remember the last time you talked to somebody when they fall off this earth. My own brother wasn't murdered. He died of cancer. But I can tell you, I can close my eyes and I can remember riding in the car that morning. I can remember the sun coming through the window of the blue Prelude of Mike Armstrong's car. I can remember opening that door. There's 2 doors, getting out at Nash Community Hospital, going up 3 flights of steps, how hot and humid it was outside, and there being a minister in the hall and him telling me, well, he didn't say anything. He just looked. And my parents were crying and my brother was dying. And I remember talking to him and what I said and how I pushed the door to the stairwell down and I just ran. And where I went and what it felt like outside and how green the grass was. I remember every freaking detail of that morning on July 18th, 1990. This is 2 months later. And Alec Murdaugh cannot remember that he was with his wife and his son 20 minutes before they died? Bullshit. And I'll probably get banned, and they won't let me do any more videos. But you know what? That is a lie. And if you lie about that, then you're guilty. And I don't care if a defense attorney doesn't agree with me, because you know it as well as I do. Every freaking single detail. And he didn't remember seeing his wife and son. He made his mother's caretaker lie. He said to her, if anybody asks you, I was here 40 minutes. He said to Bianca, do you remember that shirt I was wearing that night? It was a Vineyard Vine. It was a Vineyard Vine shirt. Do you remember it, Ivanka? She said, he asked her whether she recalled what he was. Do you remember what I was wearing that day? I got a bad feeling. I was wearing a Vinnie Vine shirt. But she said to him she only remembered that he was wearing a blue polo. The same polo that no one's ever seen again. His shoes, where are they? We have no idea. No. No way. No way. So he's on a video. He's on a video at the kennels at 7:39 and 55 seconds.
Articulated flatbed truck with plow on the ground.
Articulate truck with plow on the end.
Yes. Articulated.
It's 7:40. They are down at the kennels. Alex says this is not him. But go with me here for a minute. Let's just say that it's some ghost voice that we don't know, even though everyone has said it's Alec. At the exact same time, his phone recorded 29 steps when he said he was napping. Have you ever heard of anybody napping, sleep napping at night? Oh, no, he wasn't napping yet. Sorry. This is before dinner. I've got the timeline mixed up. Okay, so at 8:50, Paul is shot twice with a shotgun, once in the chest, once in the head. Maggie is shot 5 times. 2 of those shots strike her in the head. They think that the shootings happened between 8:50 and 9. During this time, I think like 7:40 to 9:02, Alec's phone is off the grid. So seemingly it's off. We also know nobody turns their phone off.
Plow wiper.
Plow wiper.
That's right.
At 9:02, his phone just poof comes back to life. And do you know what he's doing? He walks 283 steps, 70 steps per minute, more steps than he's walked all day. He calls his wife at 9:04 p.m., deletes the call off his phone. He calls his dad at 9:05 p.m., deletes the call off his phone. At 9:06, he calls his wife again, deletes the call off his phone. At 9:07, he leaves Moselle, headed to his mother's. Today, we got the information from OnStar. Evidently, they had been very slow to offer data related to his car. And once, I guess, they got a lot of flack on social media. Somehow people can find things out. So the state, after spending a year trying to decode encrypted vehicle data, General Motors was like, "Oh, look, we found the information. We can help you now." But let me go back. Between 9:02 and 9:06 p.m., Murdaugh's phone says he took 283 steps, 70 steps per minute. What was he doing? At 9:06, he starts up his car and leaves. He's back at the crime scene at 10:05. When he starts up his car and leaves, he is driving pretty fast. His maximum speed during the portion of the drive was 74 when he went the fastest. His average speed was 51. But right at the spot where Maggie's white phone was found, he was going 42 miles an hour. 42 miles an hour, where her phone was found the next day. When he gets to his parents' property, Almeda, he doesn't park at the house. He drives to the rear of the property, behind his parents' house, near the wood line and some outbuildings, and was there a few minutes. What did he do there? Maybe the blue shirt, maybe the shoes, maybe the guns, maybe the who knows what. He had told investigators he was there at that house for 45 minutes. He had told the caregiver, "Tell them that I was here for 40 minutes. And the caregiver had said he was there for 20 minutes. And now his phone data said he was there for 20 minutes. And now the car data said he was there for 20 minutes. He leaves for Moselle, and the maximum speed on his return route was 80 miles an hour. The average speed was 46 miles an hour. But he stopped for 1 minute in the driveway. And now the defense said, well, he got there, he had 20 seconds. 20 seconds, he got to the house, he arrived at the house, and he arrived at the house at 10. He went to the residence first, and then he left for the kennels at 10:05 in 6 seconds.
An airport is a high air building.
An airport is a high air building.
Yes.
Yes. That's my Amos. So 51 seconds. He called 911 at 10:06 and 11 seconds. Do the math with me there. Do the math. 17 seconds. 17 seconds. He is saying he got out of the car, saw that there was a problem, and checked both their pulses. Their bodies were 30 feet apart. Is that possible? Is that possible? Is it possible? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do the timer, and we're going to check 20 seconds, okay? And we're going to do 30 feet. This kitchen is about 30 feet wide. Okay, so I'm going to do the timer like this. Where's the timer? Okay, 30. Oh, no, that's minutes. We don't want minutes. Let's do the microwave timer. Hold on. Timer. Okay. Timer. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. We're just going to cook the microwave because we can't find the timer. Okay. Oh, no, sorry. 17 seconds. So we got 17 seconds. And I'm going to get out of the car right here. And I'm going to, assuming I can see with my lights, and I'm going to come back here to my phone because I don't have my phone. Phone is in the car. Okay, so I have to get to the bodies and come back. Okay, go. I'm going to run over here. I'm going to check the pulse. Okay, run back. Check the pulse. Okay, I haven't even finished checking the pulse to get back to make that call. No way. No way. No. And so to me, that's where, and Harpootlian, who again is terrible with people, when you want to talk about circumstantial evidence and reasonable doubt, I'm not a criminal attorney. I just play one on TV. That's beyond a reasonable doubt. It is impossible to get out of your car and check the pulse on two people. And do you check the pulse? And I don't mean this in a mean way, but he could see that his son, the interior of his mind was on the pavement. You would not have checked the pulse. There was not one speck of blood on his hands or his shirt. And the defense, who must think we're all idiots, was like, oh, Annie took Paul's phone out. He said Paul's phone had fallen out. So I picked it up, and then I thought, I better put it back. So you know who thinks about that kind of thing? A criminal. My own sons, if I found them like that, do you think I would really be worried about their phone? Why would I pick up their phone? You find your beloved son murdered and blood everywhere, and you go to pick up his phone? You don't do that. You don't do that. You don't. He didn't. I mean, that is beyond a reasonable doubt to me. He could not have done that in 17 seconds. I mean, if I were the defense, I would be like, I want to see him run around. I want a reenactment of this and see if this is possible, because I don't think it is. And I'm not on opiates, so maybe you're like super fast. And can we also say for a minute, yeah, he rolled Paul's body. He did not. Can you also say for a minute that Ain't nobody can do enough drugs to spend $50,000 a week. Not that I'm like a drug lord or anything. That's also not possible. I've asked. I even had my criminal defense attorney ask. Ask some of your, like, people. No, you can't do that many drugs and function. I mean, what was he doing? You know what Thomas said? The subscribers are going to look. He thinks that there was some blackmail. I don't know what that means. But anyway, so let's just check our notes here. We got all these calls. We got lots of calls to his brothers during all this. So after he calls 911, which is interesting, he calls 911, and during the calls, he said, I'm not by the bodies. That's how we know he went back to the car. And he touched them after finding them, but only to see if they were still breathing. He hangs up and says, I need to go call family members. I need to go call family members. At 10:17, he calls Randy Murdaugh. He deletes that call from his phone. At 10:47, Buster calls Alec. The call lasts 162 seconds. So at this point, he had already texted Buster and said, call me. It's urgent. But at 9:18 p.m., on his way from Moselle to see his parents, he had called his brother John Marvin and talked for 106 seconds. Now, this is a jump, but go with me. What was he calling John Marvin about at 9:18 for them to talk for 106 seconds? Did he tell John Marvin? Because he only took 162 seconds to tell his son. At 10:17 p.m., he calls Randy. He doesn't call John Marvin. He calls Randy. Why didn't he call John Marvin? Marion Proctor, Margaret Murdaugh's sister, Maggie Murdaugh's sister, said that her interactions with Alec felt off afterwards. When the police arrived at the crime scene and Alec Murdaugh says to them, it's a long story, and talks about Paul and the boat crash. Pretended to cry. Why was there never a search party done for a shooter the night of the murders? I don't know. I think you could definitely argue that SLED did not do as good of a job as they should have. And all I can think of is Hampton is this tiny town in South Carolina. And you're not used to those things. And I can't imagine if we were, probably in their mind, the house was here and this was the crime scene, I mean, in hindsight, yes, but I know he didn't call Buster first. I was wondering about that. I don't have a brother anymore. But if something happened to my children, would I call my other children first or would I call my sibling? I don't know. I can't speak to that because I don't know. They said he would have had to have taken 60 pills a day to spend that much money a week. He couldn't. No, that's not even right, Denise. 60 pills a day don't cost $10,000. No. I mean, pills are not $100 each. No. I don't know how much they are, but I know they ain't that much. I mean, all these people that die of like fentanyl overdoses and accident, and then that. He would have died if he had been taking that many pills. Wouldn't they have had fentanyl in them by now? I feel like you do drugs 3 times, you end up with fentanyl. Average income is $19,000 a year. Okay. So Marion Murdaugh says that she had asked Alec, do you think they suffered? And he said no. And she said, I don't know if I think that's true now, because they do know that Paul tried, that I think it was Paul, what I was watching, got up, right? Because the blood was flowing down. So somebody had tried to stand up. And Alec told her, whoever had done it, I think whoever did it had been thinking about it for a really long time. That's what he said. Whoever did it, they've been thinking about it for a really long time. What? That's insane. So today, this is when Herputlian was really annoying me. He said he was arguing with the SLED investigator and kept saying, well, didn't Murdaugh, he cooperated with you. I mean, why are you, didn't he cooperate with you? You called him and you this. And the guy's like trying to answer, and he said, we're having a hard time communicating. Are you telling me that SLED can't locate a phone? And Judge Newman, who might be my favorite person on the planet, scolded him and said, give the witness enough time to answer the frickin' questions. And Judge Newman also said last week, lawyers ask questions, lawyers object, judges rule. Pooty mix, moot, smoot. They know the guns came from the house. Alex said there could have been like a drug gang. I don't think a drug gang would come to get you and not bring guns. Yes. So there was a text sent out about the pills, and it said exactly, where is it? May 6, 2021, Paul to Alex said, we have to talk. Mom found several bags of pills in your computer bag. Ooh. I'm almost done. Paul was standing up when he was shot. The blood ran down his arm, stripped off his fingers, he fell. Stop thanking me for making rulings. That's what he said. Okay, honey, please move out of my space. Let me finish what I'm doing. What do you need to do? Okay, are you going to take a shower? Why don't you check on Daddy? Nobody likes to check on Daddy. It's all Mommy. Mommy, Mommy, Mommy. Yeah, I need you to leave this space. Okay, go on. Honey, you were 13. You keep telling me how mature you are. I'm not being convinced. I also think Maggie was going to divorce him, and Paul was going to cost him a bunch of payout. Was the son an addict too? There's no evidence of that. But yeah, I do think that at 10:11, after he called 911, he went back to the house to get a shotgun for protection. And he called Bianca, the housekeeper, and said, do you mind coming back over to the house tomorrow? They're gone. She was like, what do you mean they're gone? He was like, they're dead. Can you come over tomorrow? But don't go up by the kennels. Just come in the back of the house. Basically, so the police don't see you. And she said, I went in there and his khaki shorts were there. I didn't see any blood on them. I washed them. There was a towel. The plates were, the pots were all in the refrigerator, which was weird. wouldn't needed so many shots. Well, bingo on that one. I don't think there was a gun found in his car that time. Yeah, we don't even know who did it, and he concentrates on clearing his son's name. Yeah, that is what Ann Dale, that's what his sister-in-law said. Why aren't you on YouTube? Well, I'm slowly getting on YouTube. I don't really understand YouTube. My 13-year-old is highly against me being on YouTube. My 17-year-old is highly against me being on TikTok. And my 15-year-old is highly against me being on Instagram. So at this rate, I can be nowhere. Maybe I can go to like MySpace. Did Bianca unknowingly wash evidence? Maybe. Why was the door locked? Oh, I don't know. There's just no way that him not remembering anything. Yes. The whole reason she went home was to go with him to see his mother and father. His dad was in the hospital and his mother was there. Yeah, Alex did say that, Joy. Can you just make the house? You know how Maggie liked it. Do you think my husband would call somebody to make that, for me to make the house like I liked it? If I had just been murdered? No. Why use two different guns? Maybe to make it look like there were two people. Thomas's opinion. Well, we're about to go down there and find out. The subscribers, this is why you pay big money, $5 a month. You get intel. I mean, and I would just like to say that everything is $5 a month right now. Like, you can't even get a bag of Ludens for $5 a month. I mean, a darn Chick-fil-A sandwich is like $7. One sandwich. You eat it and then poof, it's gone. Me, you get a whole month. I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just pointing it out. No pressure. No pressure. Yes, Susan, I just talked about the OnStar evidence. Yeah. He didn't want to reload. Well, that's a good thought. Y'all come over to the dark side. I'll put the link up. We'll be down there to see Thomas in just a minute. I'm going to go warn him. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. The night of the murders, he called the housekeeper. Right? No. Between Harpootlian talking like he is just so amazing and smart and incredible and makes you hate him more. And then Alec, I don't know why they did that. Yes, sir. No, sir. No, mommy. No, ma'am. Why do you talk like a little tiny baby? I don't understand. You are a grown man. Talk like a grown man. I don't need you talking like a baby and pretending to cry. I don't understand why everyone is interested in this trial. O.J. Simpson. Well, I mean, you want to talk about guilty. Yeah. I'm from North Carolina. Then everybody knows somebody and they went to school together and it's just like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I mean, you can't help yourself. I saw that nanny. Okay. I have to see what happens on Tuesday. There's going to be a lot of that Harpootlian. I might have to dress up like Harpootlian. It's me, Harpootlian. I mean, I know y'all think I'm scary, but I'm not. I'm just yawn a lot.